Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Johnson here with your guys' October monthly market update. So it's just going to be one episode. We're going to cover the 2025 housing market forecast. So what are we looking like in 2025? And to do that, we're going to talk about three topics. Big three topics, I always say, is you can see on this slide here, mortgage rates, kind of what they're doing, what they're projected to do, total home sales, what we're projecting through 2024, as well as what they're projecting for 2025, the experts, and then home prices, what's going on with home prices. It's all, again, dependent, and we'll get into that on what market you're in, but the projection for 2025 on home prices. So we'll start off with this quote by Robert McLaughlin, senior economist from Realtor.com, and he says this. He says, we expect the economy to land softly and housing inventory to continue to recover. So they're projecting inventory going up. This should put downward pressure on mortgage rates this fall and winter and will set the stage for a much better season for home buyers in 2025. Quick reminder on as you guys, we've been doing this from month to month, is interest rates have been ticking down a little bit. And there's big factors in that. The two really big factors are inflation and unemployment rate. Those drive a lot of decisions. Something else you guys may have seen in the news as well. Last month, the Feds met and they agreed on a 0.5% cut. So we got a lot of calls about that from clients, and there's a lot of misinformation out there about that. Doesn't mean the rates we're going to cut 0.5 right away. It's got to be gradual. If we cut it the interest rates 0.5 in a day or in a week or even in a month, the housing frenzy would be much like 2020 and 2021. We've talked about many times before. So this slide here by Greg McBride, chief financial analyst from Bankrate, says Fed rates cut in general will bring about lower mortgage rates. So factually, the rates will tick down a little bit, and we'll look at a projection here in a minute, which is a definite boost to the housing market, but it won't happen overnight. Again, as you'll see in this next projection here, we're talking about over the next 12 to 18 months is where we'll see where experts are projecting their rates to be cut. So it wasn't something that was instantaneously. And if some of you follow it real close, is after the Fed's rate cut, we've actually ticked up a little bit over the last couple of weeks for a multitude of different reasons. So I want to get to this slide here, and this is the projection for 2025 from what experts call the big three, Fannie Mae, MBA, and Wells Fargo, and their opinions on what we're going to do in quarter four of this year, all the way through quarter four of next year. This is the 30-year fixed rate. So I will tell you, as of today, 30-year fixed rates are sitting right around 6.6. FHA is at about 6.08, and VA is at 6.10. And as we've said many months before, the big things that factor into that for each individual buyer is going to be your credit score and your debt to income ratio. So a lender is going to be able to walk you through that or where you're at. But that's where we're at overall as of today, October 17th. And then you look at the projections here, and it just factors in the 30-year fix, not FHA and VA. But you can see they're projecting, there's that 0.5 cut, but over the next, 12 months, 15 months is what the experts say. So you can see there, are rates going to come down? All experts believe so. The Fed rate cut was a good sign for it. But we'd be remiss, if we didn't leave off with this slide here about rate cuts, whether it's for refinancing or buying. But lower financing costs will likely boost demand by pulling affordability crunch buyers off the sidelines. So as we've talked about before, and we'll hit it on all these topics today, that these rates continue to go down. We've had a lot of buyers sitting on the sideline just waiting for them to go down. Could potentially, especially as we start getting into the spring of next year, really create a frenzy on buyers. And we still in this country are in a lower inventory, so a seller's market. So as we always say, every single month, hopefully I say this to you guys, if it's the right time for you and your family and your budget, we've had a lot of individuals get into rates in the upper sixes and lower sevens last year and are refinancing this year. That may not be for everybody, but we just did it last month. We went from 6.5, we closed last October, to 5.25, and just kind of a perspective for you, that saved us almost $600 a month. So we got the house that we wanted because it fit into our family's needs and our budget, and we're able to save 1.25 this year on what was called an interest rate reduction loan. And cut our payment down almost $600. So on average, for perspective, a $400,000 house in October of last year to this year is about $400 less on a monthly mortgage payment with what the interest rates have already done just in 2024. So you want to educate you on that. That's where the projections are with interest rates. I know it's a hot button item leading up to the election, leading up to a lot of things. The Fed rate cut that happened, people are wondering why it's not moving quicker. Why did it tick up? Again, unemployment, inflation, and we can't do it too quick. It's got to be gradual. Otherwise, we'll create a buy-in frenzy in a market that already has a low inventory rate. So next topic up is going to be, as promised, the total home sales, what the projection is for 2025. So you can see by this slide, this first slide here is captures from 2019 to 2024. Of course, in every slide that we've shown you since we've been doing these, you see the crazy rates that we did in 2019 pre-pandemic, 2020 and 2021 during the pandemic years when interest rates dropped, in the 2s and 3s. So you see some number of homes sold in those years were astronomically high. And then they kind of ticked down, they've actually ticked down over the last 3 years. So we're projecting through the fourth quarter of this year being right about 4.7 million homes sold nationwide. You ask, what does 2025 look at? So we take the three big ones here, Fannie Mae, MBA, and NAR on this one, and what their projections are. And this goes into new construction, so new built homes, as well as pre-existing homes. And also the factor of, with rates going down a little bit, sellers are more amped to sell and jump back in the market on buying without taking a huge cut. They're more interested in that rather than we were in the sevens, low sevens, end of last year. So the projection, when you average all three, is about 5.4 million. So going back to that slide that I showed you before, we're at projecting 4.7. So 5.4 is a significant increase, almost 2022 levels of inventory and homes for sale. So that's a good sign. That gives us more inventory. Experts don't believe it's going to get us out of the seller's market for homes on the market and days and months on the market. We said we need to be about 5 or 6 months on average to be in a neutral market, and then 6 or over to be back in a buyer's market. But this is a good sign because it's going to give buyers more options. So the question we get a lot is, should I just wait until next year? Again, if it works for your family now or next year, whatever works for your family in the budget. This quote here is by Business Insider. It says, waiting until next spring or summer should also give you more inventory to choose from. However, you're likely to be up against greater competition since it's a peak buying season. So I've mentioned a couple times as we went through this over the last year and a half on these monthly market updates, the 49-year real estate bell curve and what it does historically nationwide. And we're in a downturn nationwide in October, November, December, January, February, and then March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. That's what it does for the last 49, now going on 50 years in real estate. So they're just saying, if we wait until spring to see the 0.2, 0.3 projected cut in the interest rates, you just know that you could be up against other competition and multiple offers. I don't believe, just the research that we've done, and I don't believe that it's going to be as crazy as it was pre-pandemic, because that was coupled with 2 and 3% interest. We're talking about mid-5, lower 5s on the VAs and FHAs potentially by the end of next year. But just know that, again, educating you, giving you non-emotional information so you can make a factual decision on what works best for you and your family is our intention of doing these each and every month. So the last thing we want to talk about is home prices. What are home prices going to do? And that's all really dependent on your area. I'll tell you, in this area, and we'll get into the projections in a minute nationwide, is we're still seeing 3 to 4% appreciation every year. Again, because there is a supply and demand issue. There's not enough houses for as many people that want to buy. And until we get out of that, 5-6 months a house per inventory, we're going to potentially still see that. So appreciation going up. Here's the projection for 2025. So I took a bunch of polls on this here, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Fannie Mae, MBA, a bunch of them you can see here. And their projections nationwide is about 2.6. If you peel the onion back a little bit, most of them are right around that 3 to 4%. That again is a way more healthy appreciation. But as I opened up a minute ago with, you got to be for you to be plugged in with a local expert in the market you're in or the market you're projected to go to, and find out what's going on in that area. There are some areas, and we'll see in a minute with a quote here, that may see decreases in prices. Again, it's not as much a decrease, but it's a deceleration of the appreciation that got out of hand during the pre-pandemic years. So really want you to be plugged in. So like I said, we're still in an overall low area. This area, Hampton Roads area where we're at in Virginia, they're projecting over the next couple of years 3 to 4% appreciation. So if you're looking at buying, there's a good chance you can gain about 3 to 4% appreciation. And if you're going to be here 3 or 4 years, you can kind of do the math on that and see what you're projected to break even or make a little bit of money on buying. This one here is by Lance Lambert, co-founder of Resi Club. This comment here, and he says, even if the average national home price forecast for 2025 is correct, because it's a projection, it's possible that some regional housing markets could see mild home price declines, with some markets could see elevated appreciation. So you could see over the 2.6 average projection, or the 3 to 4 that I'm telling you about, just depending on number of houses, number of buyers, supply and demand, pure and simple. Just want to make sure you're following that. And then last one I want to leave you with here and wrap up this October monthly market update with the 2025 housing market forecast is currently economic projections for 2025 are positive. And I'm hoping I'm coming across in this short episode here that it is positive. It's a positive outlook. Rates are looking at going down, more houses hitting the market. Things are positive, which points to a positive outlook for the housing market for 2025. So if you know somebody that's looking at buying real estate, reach out to us, reach out to a local expert where you're at, and get the facts, get the fact-based, data-driven, non-emotional information so you can make an educated decision for you and your family. So hope this episode helped you guys out on what they're projecting for 2025. The weather's starting to cool down a little bit. Here in Virginia, we say when it gets in the 50s, it's starting to cool off, but it's definitely jacket weather out there. Shanon would say sweater weather. But we hope that you guys stay safe as we get into the holiday seasons. Stay safe, enjoy family time, take care, and we'll get through this year, and then we see what 2025 looks for. And if you're looking at purchasing a house, or you know somebody that is purchasing, selling, looking for rentals, we'd love to hear from you. We hope that you have a blessed day, a blessed rest of the year. We'll see you next month for the November market update, and have a blessed day. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.